Hey there, David Risley here with the Blog Marketing Academy, here with this week's weekly update. Today's date is November 1. Quite frankly, can't believe it's freaking November already in 2018. So anyway, let's go through what's going on here. First of all, let's talk about the daily. If you're not subscribed to the daily, head on over to blogmarketingacademy.com/daily, completely free. And it is a true newsletter that's actually usually sent out Monday through Friday. Lately, it's been more like 3 times a week, but there's actual content in there that is exclusive to the daily. It's a very high value thing, quite frankly. A lot of people have worried about whether I was just pitching to them every day, and absolutely not. I intend to do email marketing in a very different way, and I do that with the daily. What a lot of people end up doing with their blog, I do it via email, and it's via the daily. So anyway, that's at blogmarketingacademy.com/daily. What we've been talking about in there, starting I think in the last issue, is a series on the bad habits that I see when I work with a lot of people who are first getting started. Things that when they're trying to start a new business or a new blog from scratch, there are certain personal habits that many times get in the way and make things more difficult than they need to be. And so I'm doing a series where I'm identifying what those things are that I see and my take on what to do about it. Okay, and so that is in the daily. You already know how to subscribe if you're not on there. And if you are a daily subscriber, sit back and enjoy the series. All right, I think the next issue is coming out tomorrow. Okay. So that's the daily. Let's move on to the podcast. The podcast is continuing on every day this week with the list building challenge. Okay, so I think the list building challenge will be coming to an end on the podcast next week. But each day this week, aside from these weekly updates, of course, where you're getting a new strategy lesson on how to build your list more effectively. And the overall point with the list building challenge is that each thing that I mention is something that can go and be applied in a limited amount of time. I don't want it to be something where it's going to take you 3 months to implement it, because that would make no sense. It needs to be something that you can do quickly so that you can go and see some results from it. And so that's the idea of the list building challenge. I did run the challenge in the daily before, but if you missed it, hop onto the podcast. And in fact, you can also go back in time quite easily on the podcast and catch up from number 1. Okay, so the podcast, if you want to subscribe to that and you're not already, head on over to coffeebreakblogging.com and you can get onto that via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, I think, and I think I'm working on getting into iHeartRadio and Spotify, so I'll let you guys know when that happens. All right, let's jump on over to the lab, which is, of course, the training side of the Blog Marketing Academy. I've been pretty darn busy, actually, inside the lab. It's just a lot of it isn't publicly seen yet. What I'm working on right now is a complete redo of the course called the Perfect Blog Blueprint. And if you go to the course library, you're now going to see the new version of the Perfect Blog Blueprint, but it's not clickable yet. It says it's coming soon because I'm working diligently on it. Right now, I'm planning out all the content. It's the way it works when I create these courses is that it's basically a 3-phase thing. First of all is the planning, outlining, and the actual content creation of the course. And then second one are the slide decks, because I have to have those for video purposes. And then stage 3 is usually when I sit down and record the videos. And quite frankly, recording the videos is the easy part. And so the part that I'm in right now is the actual content. And if I pull up on my screen here, where the heck is this thing? There it is. Some of what we're going to be talking about here. It's going to be a total redo of what's in there right now regarding the perfect blog layout, talking about your sidebar, a high conversion blog opt-in strategy, the perfect blog navigation. We're going to talk about best practices on each of the fundamental core pages of a site, including the home page, the blog index, about, getting started, contact, right on down the line. I just did this one yesterday, which is a full training on branding. Like, how do you actually engineer the branding on your blog? A lot of people get a little weird about the subject of branding. They start talking about it as if they know, but they don't really know. They think it's their logo and their business card and stuff like that, and it's not. And so there's a whole training workshop in this thing that's going to be all on the subject of branding. Yesterday, we also planned out choosing the right color scheme, the strategic use of categories, and it goes on right down the line. Blog comments, the perfect blog post, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you get the idea. That's the perfect blog blueprint coming up as soon as I can possibly do it. But it's definitely going to be before Thanksgiving, maybe even sooner than that. Because I'm probably about 70% of the way through the planning phase of the course, which, like I said, is usually the most time consuming. All right, let me get onto the right darn screen here. The other thing in the lab is that the next workshop is coming up next week on, I think, Tuesday, and the subject is going to be how to develop a cohesive content strategy that won't drive you insane. All right. And so this workshop is going to be all about how do you keep content flowing across multiple platforms, and including your blog, of course, but without going nuts, without feeling as if everything that you do is just churning out free stuff, so that you wouldn't have time to think about the more important things that are actually going to grow your business. And so that's what we're going to be talking about on that workshop. It's going to be a lot about leverage, a lot about content systems, so you can get more output with less time actually doing the content. All right. So that'll be Tuesday for lab members. If you're not a lab member, what the heck are you waiting for at this point? Jump on over to blogmarketingacademy.com/lab, and I'll see you on Tuesday. All right, let's pop over to some questions. This is the Ask BMA section of the update that were coming in. I went and looked at some of the questions that had come in from people, sometimes from other sources other than just Ask BMA, and picked a few that I wanted to comment on here today. The first one was somebody who was talking about using other people's YouTube videos in his content, and basically asking if it's okay. And so what I gathered from his question was that what he was doing was taking other people's YouTube videos that are in the same niche as his, putting them on his blog, and then using it as a source for creating his own content. So basically he was creating his own content that was discussing something that somebody else talked about in their YouTube video. And he was basically wondering if it's okay, if there's some problem with that. The truth is, absolutely not. There's no problem with that. If they allow the video with their settings on YouTube to be embeddable on other people's websites, then it's go ahead. I mean, that's kind of the way that the internet works, right? And the other thing too is that you're not claiming it as your own, you're simply using it as a point of discussion, and then you're creating your own original content. In the world of content creation, that's simply called curation. You're curating content. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in fact, one of the things that's great about this strategy is that you can use it to improve your own SEO. Because here's the thing, one of the factors of SEO, search engine optimization these days on your blog content, is time on page. Okay, and one of the ways that you can increase time on page is, of course, to have a YouTube video there, because when they click and they watch that video, they're on your page while they do it. And nobody said it had to be your video. It could be somebody else's video. There's nothing wrong with that. You could even link right to the original video. You can link right to the website of the person who's doing it. You know, you're doing everything up front and doing it ethically. And so, yeah, there's just nothing wrong with that. All right, let's jump on over to the second question. Okay, this lady has a blog. She actually did not give me her URL, so therefore I'm not sharing it, but I went and Googled it and I did find her. Now, basically, they've got a blog about traditional living and this type of thing, but she says that her email list is basically not growing. and she feels like that's her biggest impediment to her future plans with the website. And so she feels like she's missing something because her list is not growing. Now, when I pulled up her site, and again, I'm not going to share the URL here on this video, but what I found was that her list building efforts were pretty much non-existent. And so this is why she's not building the list. She's got a hello bar at the top, okay? And it says, get your traditional living freebie today when you sign up for our bi-monthly newsletter. So I want to make two things there. For one, you're not giving them any benefits there because you're just calling it a traditional living freebie. You're concentrating on the thing. It's kind of like, hey, you want a book? I mean, like, okay, what's it about, you know? And so that's kind of that's not an enticing lead magnet whatsoever. Secondly, a bi-monthly newsletter, that seems awfully infrequent. Like, why would you be sending out emails to your list so seldomly, okay? But the big thing here is, and this is not, this would be particular to her site, not everybody, but if you're watching right now, your Get My Freebie button goes directly to your lead magnet PDF on Google Drive. There's no opt-in. And so you're not even asking for anybody's email address. You're just sending them to a PDF right there from your hello bar, which makes no sense. Now, I have a pop-up that came up. And once again, let me look at the headline here. It says, get your freebie. Like, seriously? I mean, it then says, subscribe to get our latest content by email, and you'll get a traditional living tips printable free. So once again, my point here is that you're concentrating way too much on the thing that they're going to get. And these days, getting a free PDF is... who gives a crap? Everybody gives away free PDFs. It means absolutely nothing, okay? The only thing that's going to make it mean anything is if you're talking about the benefits that that PDF is going to give them. So don't refer to it as a printable. Don't refer to it as a PDF. Don't, none of that matters. What you need to do is you need to offer up a lead magnet which has clear benefits to your target market, that is going to be something that is going to even spike your curiosity as to what they're going to get out of that. And then you talk about those benefits when you're putting the opt-in form out there. Don't refer to it as the object that they're going to get or the file that they're going to get. It's about the benefits that they're going to get. And then that can get them onto the list. The other thing, one quick mention, is that you do have your name and email fields on this pop-up for the opt-in. You don't need their name likely for your purposes, so get rid of it, because if every field that you ask to an opt-in form, or you add to an opt-in form, can decrease the conversion rate just a little bit. Now, when I close her opt-in form, I'm going to make a quick observation about blog homepages in general. Her blog homepage does what I've seen way too many people do, and that it's got this big honker slider on the homepage. Big image, completely and totally useless waste of space. I've got a big monitor here, and there's no opt-in form anywhere in sight. All right, and in fact, I don't think there's an opt-in form on this entire homepage. And so it's a major drop of the ball. You're wasting space. Now what happens in a lot of cases is that the theme that you select has this big slider thing, and you think that it looks visually pleasing or something, but they suck for conversion. They suck for marketing. And so they're just a bad idea. If you have a homepage slider of some big image on your homepage, ditch that bad boy and put something more useful there. What I would recommend that you do is take that same space, put one image in there, don't have that bad boy rotate, and put a big opt-in form. Put a big headline there with the main benefit of your site. In this case, it would be a return to traditional living and that type of thing. And then put an opt-in form for your lead magnet right there in that spot on the home page. Okay. Same thing with every blog post, your Start Here page, and every page. It needs to have an opt-in form for your lead magnet, but a compelling lead magnet, not a freebie, okay? Because people don't respond to that kind of thing. All right. That is my end of that particular topic. One last thing I wanted to comment on here for Ask BMA. Somebody came to me and they basically asked me for a discount on the lab. Okay. Now, the lab is already pretty low priced for the value, and I'm aware of that. Okay, there's some work that I'm doing with some updates on a few of the courses that are in that library right now that it's going to translate over into work on the roadmap, and then trust me, the price is going up. But I'm well aware that the lab is already a pretty good damn deal. All right. Now this guy came and he asked for a discount, and the weird thing that he did was that he says, I could use a discount out of sincerity. Like if I was sincere about my offer, I should give him a discount. And I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. Because here's the thing, what he's probably not thinking is that wouldn't that make every price on my website completely insincere if I would hand out little discounts like that privately via email? I'm not desperate to make a sale. I make sales, okay? I'm not desperate to make a sale, and so therefore I do not hand out discounts willy-nilly. When I do so, it's in a structured thing where everybody's got the same opportunity, I don't do it individually. And so I just wanted to make a comment on that. It wasn't really a question. It's just kind of like the mindset there. Don't have that. I mean, don't try to get somebody to lowball their own prices, because they'd be an idiot to do that. And there's nothing sincere about it. It's quite frankly very insincere, not only to ask, but for them to give it to you. It's not an honest thing to do. Okay, so that I wanted to just end off Ask BMA with that as a commentary. All right, let me see. Do we have anything else we got to update today? Don't believe so. I think that's going to be our weekly update for today, November 1. November. Wow. Thanksgiving's coming up here in the U.S. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you next week. Of course, I'll see you on the podcast and on the daily. Probably going to get something new up on the blog here pretty soon. And if you're a lab member, I will see you in the live training room on Tuesday with our next workshop. Lots coming up down the pike, and I'm really excited about sharing it all with you. See you later. Blogging and growing a real business around your blogging can be overwhelming and seem pretty complicated. The Blog Marketing Academy was set up to do something about it. I take a systematic approach, giving step-by-step processes you can follow to get the results that you want. At Blog Marketing Academy, I don't teach blog monetization the way those other people do. Around here, we're focused on building real businesses based on solid fundamentals that will have the staying power to provide the freedom and fulfillment you want. To learn more about it, head on over to blogmarketingacademy.com/join.